Hey guys, this is not a video I thought I'd ever make. I thought I'd be so much older. I thought this would honestly outlive me. Um, and I thought I'd be a lot more mature and I wouldn't cry over it. But in September, I think September 13th of this year, Little Big Planet 1, 2, and 3 shut down their online servers for the PlayStation 3, which and the PS Vita, but PlayStation 3 is what I use. And I found out about this on October 11th, so about like a full month after it shut down. And this was about a week before I was going to film a couple of like horror maps from the game for Halloween month on my gaming channel. Um, and when I heard this news, I was just distraught for the rest of the night because I was looking into this at like midnight. I cried myself to sleep that night. It was a very depressing night, and I was sort of in a depression for like 2 or so days after that, and then I knew I have to make a video. I have to make a video so I can let go of this piece of my childhood. Back in March, the Little Big Planet servers got hacked, so the servers went down. There was a time in May where the servers went up. I read into this that the servers were down, and I was like, oh crap, man, I hope they bring it back. And there was one day that it was brought back, and I played the shit out of it. I played it like for a couple of good hours, and I just did, I did a highlight reel of like my favorites of the game. And yeah, I didn't know this though, and that's why I was probably a lot more affected, was because I thought the servers were up the whole time. Like, it returned in May, and I thought it was up that whole time. I was like, I wasted so much time because I didn't play Little Big Planet since 2015. On that last day in May, I honestly never played it since like 2015. So there was a big gap there, and I was like, oh, that's such a long time. And to know that that last day that I played was the last day the servers were up, it brings peace to me knowing that I was able to play it one last time, and it was the only last time I was able to play it because that was the last time the server was up, and then they just gave up in September. Not being able to play those community maps, because yes, the story is fun and the story is great. The Little Big Planet 2's story is one of my favorite stories of all time. Honestly, my favorite like story to play through. But this yes, the story mode's one thing, but the online mode is what made this game, the series, one of the greatest gaming series of all time. There, and just to lose that online feature is just, it diminishes the game so much. And I know that all the maps are gonna be saved from the PlayStation 3 all the way onto PS4, onto the PS4 version of Little Big Planet 3. But I think the best thing for me is to just let go right now. Because it feels pointless to buy a PS4 just to hold on to my childhood. And the closer I get to that, letting go of my childhood, the closer I get to being an adult. But anyway, yeah, I wanted to make this video to just tell everybody how much Little Big Planet meant to me. How much time I spent on it, because Little Big Planet 2 is my favorite game of all time. It's a game that I played every single day when it came out. Every single day. I met some extraordinary people, and let's talk about those maps, because I do have a couple I want to talk about. There's the Little Big Planet. It's called Little Big Lunch, or Little Big Breakfast, Little Big Lunch, and Little Big Dinner. It is from the first Little Big Planet, and it is honestly, I think I should get a PS4 now, just so I can do a tier, like a top 10 list of my favorite maps. but I honestly can say this is like my favorite series of maps on Little Big Planet. It is just so fun. It, that's really the only way I can describe it, is that it's so fun. And then there's Flip, which it's honestly something that's literally its own game. A lot of games on Little Big Planet are literally their own entity. Like, it doesn't even feel like a Little Big Planet map, like a community map. It feels like somebody created a game within this game, and that is what made the online feature so amazing. Because you got to experience all these people's hard work. And then there's the Titanic map, which is such a beautiful map. And you know, it's honestly one of the best maps ever. It was on the first one, and it was just, that's like when I knew, like, these levels are freaking crazy when this was out, because that was such a cinematic trip. It's honestly one of my favorites. And you know, there's so many others. There's one of my favorites, which is the spinning house survival. You know, you're in a spinning house and you have to survive. It's all in the title. And you know, there's classic maps like American Ninja Warrior, Wipeout. There are millions of more maps. I think like 20 million maps. You know, so many different genres and so many expertly created maps. They're all, they're all on PS4, but they're all, gone. You know what I mean? And I want to talk about the people that I lost. The friends that I lost on PlayStation, because PlayStation 3 is officially dead. There's no game I can think of that has an online feature for the PlayStation 3. I could be wrong for certain things, because because GTA Online is about to get shut down, and among other things. But yeah, all the people I'm about to mention are on 2 or more years ago since the last time they were online, but they're all sincerely some of my best friends in the time frame of 2011 to 2014. There's Cool Set and Skater Boy. Cool Set 102. Cool Set was one of my best friends near the end of the time of me playing Little Big Planet, which was like 2014, 13 area. We played a lot together, and he even helped me on some of my extreme maps, which was just like a big obstacle course map. It's really fun. And then there's Jessen and Swaglord. They were so fun to hang out with. We had an absolute blast when we did that Mortal Kombat shenanigans video, and you can obviously tell by the laughing and just all that. Looking back at that, it's so. It honestly brings a tear to my eye. The first time I watched it after hearing the news that Little Big Planet got shut down was it honestly made me cry watching that. And then there's that's the name of her. She was a friend I met through like another friend on the Little Big Planet. And she was just so nice, honestly, she was just nice to every time we hung out, and she would always compliment everyone she hung out with. Honestly, she complimented me, complimented everyone else we hung out with. She's such a nice person. And and then we got the big three, and I want to mention these big three because it's so weird, the 6 degrees of separation, the Kevin Bacon thing. I met this guy called Phoenix Oman 123, I think that is. I call him Phoeniximon for some reason. And he was my first friend that I ever had on Little Big Planet 2, and even on PlayStation. We played this like skateboarding level or whatever, and the next day we hung out again, and he invited me to play with some of his friends, which leads me to another friend that I made, which is Nugget Killa 9. And I met him. I was being, I was messing around. I wasn't taking things seriously. I think I was like they were trying to progress further, and I was like intentionally falling behind, or something like that, or the other way around. And he called me, I think he called me a dick or something. And guess what? We became good friends after that. We became, honestly, some good friends for a while. And, you know, he introduced me to DC Universe, which was one of my favorite games, like, for a couple of years. And he also introduced me to who was my best friend, Jesse 5454. And this guy was my best friend for a long time. Like, oh my god. We played Little Big Planet 2 like every single day together. Like, we during the summer we'd play like from 11 a.m. to like 1 a.m. And you know, it's just I remember those nights cuz we hung out so many times, like, just, and it was late nights. And you know, I haven't talked to him in like 5 6 years. And you know, I'll never forget the friendship that we had. Jesse was one of my best friends. It was yes, it was over online, and we, you know, but we did get to know each other, and he was a very good friend of mine. But anyway, that's all the friends that I had. Not very much, but um, yeah. um, I think the other thing is, you know, this does bring my mind into um, what what happened to Club Penguin. Club Penguin shut down in 2017. It was just like, hey, we're shutting down, and it's like, oh, well, that sucks. You know, at least I knew it was shutting down. Little Big Planet was like, hey, it's over, guys. I'm like, bye. You know, it wasn't like you have one last day to play all these games, and I think that's what's more affecting. But the whole point is, yeah, both those shut down. My childhood is dying quickly. Oh boy. But anyway, that is it for my eulogy. It felt like like a eulogy that I was given here, an obituary or something like that. I don't know. But I think the best thing to do is to reminisce, not only with my words, but also with a little montage of just all of these things that I've mentioned and what Little Big Planet meant to me. So, without further ado, here is the montage.